But two, there's organizations in the state of New Hampshire. I'd love to work with Marine Patrol on this. Like, put up a sign right in the Marine Patrol office and put it on all of their registration things. Hey, if you need etiquette training, wake boat operation training, go here. We'll do it, right? And I'd love to see that happen, right?
My experience at the dealership level has been very good.
Mhm.
I think the dealers are 100% on board
Yeah.
with, educating the customer, saying, hey, listen, I know that it says 150 feet, but if you have the ability to go 300 or 400 feet, do it.
Yeah.
And, they really want to make sure that they're operating the boat correctly and safely. So I totally agree with you that, it can be a little bit of a sharp learning curve if you buy something pre-owned, specifically, driveway to driveway transaction. You
Right.
could buy it from someone who gave you the crash course when you went to test drive it.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of unspoken things that you learn very quickly.
Right.
And if you do them in a situation or environment where you don't really have the margin of error, that's where things can go wrong.
Right.
So I agree with you on that. And there's a lot of humility in saying, listen, I'll take you out and I'll show you just because I want to represent the industry correctly.
Absolutely.
Because there's not a lot of guys that do that.
No. And I think a big part of it too is like when we do these coaching your boat things, we're doing it at your lake on your boat.
Yep.
Right. And I go back to the fact that I would venture to guess that most boat operators on Winnipesaukee, from what I've seen, could not show you what 150 feet looks like or what 200 feet looks like.
No, they have no
I have
idea.
no idea whether that's to the end of this table or out into the parking lot, right? So being able to take the actual customer to a location, be like, look, this is a great place that you can do this. We've got the water depth that we need, right? That's another thing that comes up in these laws is wanting to keep people out of certain shallow areas. Well, guess what? We don't want to be in areas that are less than 20 feet. We don't want to impact the loons because the loons nest and hang out in areas that don't have the depth and the width and the things that we need. So we don't need those conversations at the table. We need to show people where they can go, what's the best place to be. If they're on a specific lake, rather than, deliver the boat on Winnipesaukee, get over to Newfound and be like, hey, this is a great spot, right? And you'll see other wake surf boats out there. And I think generally people are trying to do the right thing. And so that's, I guess, another tip is go find some of the other boats. Now, don't destroy their water.
Yeah,
like maybe keep some distance from them, but it'll give you some tips on like, hey, what's the next time I can go out? Maybe I should go check out that spot and see if it's open.
And you make a great point because we as wake surfers, a lot of, if you've never owned a wake surf boat, you may not know this, but 20 feet or less, the wave is completely different.
Yes,
It's like,
absolutely. I go back to the story that I had earlier, right, where the wave disappeared. The reason the wave disappeared on that boat I was talking about earlier
It's because it got shallow.
because it got too shallow, right?
Interesting.
So it got too shallow. The first time we weren't shallow enough, but the wave went away. The second time I saw literally the dirt being churned up when the water turned around, right? And that's how shallow we were.
No one's perfect. That's a great learning experience.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that you can share that because maybe there's someone out there that, maybe one of our listeners tuning in will say, that's something I definitely want to look out for. Not only environmental damage that'll happen to the bottom of the lake, but
Right.
potential damage that can happen to the boat.
To the boat, to the docks, to the environment.
That's
all
the
there
fastest
is.
way to lose the season.
Oh, absolutely.
Is to hit your running gear with something really hard.